So before the drone went through all that testing, I was just planning on going to the Dolomites as my vacation plan and thought it would be awesome to have a drone with me to capture all the beautiful nature there. But I crashed my older Mini 2, so I didn't have one at the time. At that time, the new Mini 3 Pro was just announced, and although it looked really good, the price was pretty steep compared to my Mini 2. But then I remembered why my Mini 2 crashed to begin with. And that was due to it having no sensors. When it returned home after the connection was lost, it crashed into a tree branch and fell down. If it would have been the Mini 3 Pro instead of the Mini 2, it would have survived. So I went to the store and bought this one, with the new smart controller too. I could have bought this drone without a controller since I still had the older controller from my Mini 2, but my experience with the old controller wasn't the best. And that brings me to the first talking point: the need for a smartphone. With the old controller, you had to slap on your phone with a clamp and open the app. This was fine at all, although being an extra step when you quickly want to capture that beautiful moment, it worked out, but there were downsides too. My iPhone 13 Pro doesn't have the biggest screen, so sometimes I couldn't see details that well, and the ability to fly was always dependent on the phone's battery. So I was hyped to see that this one could be bought with a separate controller that had a screen. Sadly, the startup time of the new controller was just as bad as having to clamp up your phone, so it didn't save me time there. The screen was bright enough though, but neither my iPhone nor this controller could withstand the direct sun reflections. So I still covered it with my jacket to see more on the screen when there wasn't a spot in the shadows. I was also disappointed to see that the screen recording feature was only possible with a separate SD card to be inserted into the controller. After I found that out, it sounded pretty reasonable. But sadly, I was already on vacation, so I couldn't use screen recording at all. The battery of the controller is excellent. Even though I bought 3 separate batteries for the drone, the controller could just survive the day with one charge of the built-in battery. So that's easily 60 minutes of flying and still have battery left. Also very glad it has a USB-C for both the drone and the controller. Although I would have loved for it to include a power brick, you can easily buy those separately and still use it for charging your phone or whatever USB-C device you have laying around. One thing that really annoyed me was the fact that the thread on the controller sticks were smaller than the DJI MINI 2. Since you need to screw those on and they are so small, I almost lost them twice. That experience was better with the Mini 2. They should have gone with magnetic sticks, which would have been much easier to attach. So a lot of you asked if my drone was still okay after all that abuse from my torture test video. And yes, it's still functioning perfectly fine. I had to lay it in rice and really clean it up though, because all that dust was everywhere. I'm still really impressed at just how rugged this thing is and that it can withstand so much abuse. The only thing that was destroyed were the propellers, but there's an extra pair included and they are very easily replaced. It definitely feels stronger than the Mini 2. I also love the fact that the order of folding back the legs on this drone doesn't matter anymore. With the older model, you had to do it in a certain order, otherwise it wouldn't fold in. That makes this drone more flexible and easily stowed away. I really recommend a carrying case for this drone though, because it does cost a good amount of money. The $30 case doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, and it would have been difficult to carry it around otherwise without it cracking or getting damaged. The sensors on this drone worked perfectly fine. The only downside for me would be that every time it detected an obstacle, it would slow down significantly or even stand still for a moment, instead of calculation while still moving at top speed. I'm not sure if that was just my high expectation for this thing or if that's just something that more expensive drones offer. Either way, it was disappointing to see. It sure helped having these sensors, but every time I went flying, I really missed the side sensors. And that's funny because I've never owned a drone with side sensors. It just becomes too apparent that you have a blind spot and you fly more careful because of it. So even though it's packed with sensors, you still fly cautiously. There's also the aspect that sometimes it just makes a decision faster than it can calculate the way, so the sensors end up being its worst enemy. It was still awesome to see it finding a way through the forest while flying backwards, and I had a lot of fun testing that out. I think a good addition on this drone are the LED lights on the legs. For safety of course, but also just to find your drone in the sky. It makes it a lot easier to scan the sky for your drone that's flying high. It still suffers from fog on the camera when the battery gets too hot. It's dependent on weather conditions too, of course. But it's very annoying to finally fly this drone and then seeing an all blurred out image on your screen. I had that a lot with the DJI MINI 2. So I was quick to notice it here too. Although less frequent. The active track was really cool to play around with. I tried to make those running up a hill shots, but found out when I got home that I didn't record it. I still had a lot of fun while doing it, and it's really easy too. But I found out really quick that when following, it can absolutely crash into anything, because it's a lot harder for it to calculate all its surroundings with that missing side sensor. Something that was my fault was bringing only a 128GB SD card. With that new 60 FPS 4K footage, that card will be full very quick. So I recommend at least 512GB. I really noticed that a lot of people came up to me while flying the DJI Mini 3 Pro, probably because of the cool looking controller and because it's so silent that it doesn't really annoy anyone, even when flying low. Of course, you can still hear it, but when I was flying somewhere where other drones were flying too, I could just notice the difference in drones based on the amount of noise generated. Especially the noise difference between this one and the Mini 2 was very noticeable. It's funny to me that such a small drone as the Mini 2 makes more noise. I hope you enjoyed this video and my findings were helpful for you. This drone is really awesome, but you have to be aware of some of its issues. Feel free to check out my crash test video, and for now, have an awesome day.